Okay, hello, how's it going? So, I'm feeling insane, and I know to some degree it's a natural part of the process to feel crazy, to feel like a lunatic. You know, I took a nap. I don't always get to take a nap in the living environment that I'm in right now, but I was able to take a nap, and I'm on a walk now. I haven't smoked since this morning, and I don't know. Once again, I'm not necessarily trying to just go super sober. I'm more so just trying to get a hold of, like, you know, the negative effects that smoking has on my life. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think drugs are inherently bad. I don't think marijuana is inherently bad. I just think that the way that we use drugs, the way that we use substances is kind of not always the greatest, you know? And I don't know. I'm thinking about purchasing a guitar. I currently have a little bit of savings right now, and I'm being super transparent. This is really difficult for me, so, like, I don't know how this might come across, but this is very difficult for me. I don't like doing this, but I'm going to talk about it. I've been talking about it, so I'm just going to keep talking about it. I have been trying really hard to break certain patterns, break certain cycles within me. And it has been very difficult, very, very difficult. And I don't know. I'm thankful for my spirit, for my, you know what I mean, for my homies and all that jazz. Like, you know, I have a lot to be thankful for, and I don't ever want to not be thankful. You know what I mean? But it's been very difficult, and that's why I've been thinking about buying a guitar, because one of the cycles I've been trying to break is like around money. It's around like finances. And one thing, I have a little bit of money saved, and I already know that, like, well, I don't know anything, actually. Shout out to Socrates. But what I do know, what I feel like I know is that, like, I'm in a similar energy as to how I was, like, a month ago or whatever, when I was kind of spiraling financially, where I just kept making the same bad decision for the sake of, like, you know, quick fixing my nervous system, because that's what it is when you boil it down, you know. And another thing I guess I'm thankful for is my awareness of these things and my ability to articulate these things, you know, because not everybody can articulate, you know, the sensations that are going on in their body and why they're happening. But I'm thankful for that, I guess, because I know why it's happening. It's because I'm calling in a lot of changes, and, you know, I'm also living in an environment where there's a lot of dysfunction, a lot of chaos, a lot of, you know, just fuck shit behavior, you know what I mean? And my nervous system, I was talking about nervous system in another video recently. By the time this gets posted, it'll probably be December, so whatever I'm saying is probably obsolete because it's been like 2 months. And hopefully I'll be in a much better place, emotionally, spiritually. Hey, Burns, what's up? But yeah, the nervous system is really, like, so important for, like, up-leveling your life. Like, if you don't understand the nervous system and you come from a place of dysfunction, you're going to have a really hard time up-leveling, because it's so important, because, like, the nervous system is literally how we process information. It's how we are able to exist and understand the world, you know what I mean? And if your nervous system is out of whack, you will not be able to make the best decisions, like I am right now. And so me buying the guitar would be like a proactive attempt at, like, just not squandering all the money, you know, doing something productive with it, you know, before it goes to shit, because there's a possibility it could get to that point. So, you know, I currently have a little bit less than $200 saved up, and I don't know, because some people say, like, you know, when you work for it, you have a little bit more appreciation for it, and I agree to some degree, but it's like, I don't know, like, I've never had a problem with attracting money. Like, excuse me, there's a fucking bug. Gotta watch out for the spider web. There's like a spider web that was over here last time I was here. But I've never had a problem with attracting money. It's more so saving money and using it responsibly that's been an issue. And within the last year or so, I've gotten a lot better at both attracting money and, like, utilizing money and all that jazz. But I know that I still have a long ways to go, and I don't know. I'm a little impatient because I put in so much effort, I put in so much work into everything that I do. So I can be a little impatient because it's like, I'm putting in so much fucking effort. Why can't I just fucking, you know what I mean, get my returns as soon as possible? But that's not how it fucking works. You know, like, for all I know, I could still be on this journey like 2 years from now, still trying to figure it out. And I hope to God that I'm not, because of the way my brain works. I hope that I figure out a shortcut and I'm able to fucking, you know what I mean? Because also one thing that I'm thinking about that is really annoying to think about is that, like, the shit that I'm dealing with is like generations. Like, this isn't just me, you know? And I feel like somebody needs to hear that, like, whatever you're going through is not just you, it's also generations of abuse, generations of poor behaviors and poor habits, you know? Which is a really hard concept to wrap your brain around, but that's really how it works, you know? Because if you don't have it, if you don't have the success that you're seeking, and nobody else in your lineage has, then, you know, that means that technically you're the first, you know? And, like, I don't know, we don't really think about it in that context, but that's really how it works, you know? Like, if you're seeking it and nobody else has it in your family, you're the first. And, like, that means there's a lot of glass ceilings to break. There's a lot of barriers to break, you know? And if it was easy, bitch, everybody would have done it. Somebody else would have done it by now, but that's why nobody else has done it. You know what I'm fucking saying? Like, because, like, at this point, it's not even a question of, like, whether I'm worth it or not, or whether I'm valuable enough. I know that I am. I know that I put enough work in to be proud of myself and to, you know what I mean, to want the best for myself. I know that. But, you know, there's also beliefs and stuff that are rummaging around in my energy field from before I was even born, you know what I mean? Beliefs like you have to suffer to make a living, you have to suffer, you know? You have to overwork yourself just to survive. What's another belief? That, I mean, I guess this is adjacent to what I just said, but, like, you can't really be happy and provide a living for yourself, which is kind of ridiculous, but these are beliefs that people have. These are beliefs that hold us back, you know, saying that it has to be hard, that you have to put in hard work, you know, which there is work, but does it have to be hard? I don't know. Who's to say, bitch? I mean, there's a part of me that's like, maybe I should just go easy on myself, maybe I should just, but then there's another part of me that's like, no, you've worked very hard just to get here, we're not about to just let you, you know, make the worst decisions, which, in this case, I'm saying that the worst decision would be, like, spiraling, getting a bunch of marijuana, because I don't buy in bulk. Like, I witness people buy in bulk. I've always seen people buy in bulk. I don't buy in bulk. I buy small increments because I'm like, day to day, bitch. I'm only rocking this day. You know what I mean? And maybe that's an issue. Maybe that's not a good thing. But I also know that if I were to buy in bulk, I might smoke it all at once. And that's just knowing myself. You know what I mean? And also, I'm not necessarily smoking for recreational uses. Like, I don't think that's necessary to say, but, like, because there's a difference between somebody who's using drugs for, like, recreational, for, like, quote-unquote having a good time, and then there's people who use drugs to numb out, to prevent pain, and I feel like that's more the category that I'm in. Like, I'm not trying to necessarily have a good time. I'm just trying to minimize the fucking ache that is in my spirit, you know what I mean? Once again, from, like, generations of fucking stupidity and all that shit, you know? And so I say that to say that, in a way, like, my drug use is more medicinal than it is recreational. Like, I'm not doing it to have a good time or to let loose or anything. I'm using it because, to me, it's like medicine. It's like, it helps to alleviate some of the pressure that I feel, you know? But I have used it in the past for having a good time, you know what I mean? So there's that history, I guess. I think one thing that is really daunting to think about is, like, the idea of me having a super huge life purpose and, like, eventually fulfilling those shoes or filling those shoes. And the reason why I say it's daunting is because, I don't know, like, I've always known to some degree that I'm, like, smarter than the average bear. I've always known that I have, like, you know, really unique abilities, that I'm very perceptive, that I'm very creative. Like, I've always known these things about myself, and I've always, to some degree, had the aim for, like, fame. Didn't mean to rhyme there, but I've always had that desire in a way. I've always had that vision. Like even when I was little, like I legit like had a journal. I think I talk about this occasionally, but I had a journal when I was in like elementary school or whatever, where I definitely talked about like being an adult and being like in the entertainment industry and all that jazz. Like, you know, like I've always had that vision. So I just know that it's in me. It's not necessarily just a whim or whatever. It is in me. Also, I'm hoping and I'm praying to the gods that the wind is not an issue in this video, because it's getting windy and it's always frustrating when that happens. But yeah, like, I mean, also part of the resistance with me getting the guitar is whether or not I would be dedicated to practicing every day, because that's important. I would want to practice every day. Excuse me, I would want to practice every day. I want to, you know, because technically I don't really know how to play the guitar. I've owned guitars before. You might have seen me with a guitar before, and I like winged it really good. I'm so sorry for the wind. I really hope it's not an issue. Like I really winged it for the most part. Like I was just like, whatever, I'm just gonna, and I think I was pretty good at it for the most part. And it's funny because, also you just saw me rip my hair out. I think it's funny because there were people who were like low-key jealous of me and shit. And it's like, I don't even know how to play this bitch. Like what the fuck? Why are you jealous of me, you fucking weirdo? You gotta get some security on yourself, bitch. I think we live in a crazy world where people really need to love themselves more. I think a lot of issues in the world come about because people don't love themselves and they want other people to love them. You know, it starts with the parents a lot of the time. It's like, I want my parents to like me. I want my parents to approve of me. So I'm going to do X, Y, and Z even though I don't want to do that so that they like me. And it's like, girl, stop. Do things for your own approval. Do things because you want to do it. Do things because it's your, you know what I mean? Like, and it's so easy to tell somebody that, but like, I don't know, I can only imagine it's another thing actually being in that experience. I've never cared to vie for my parents' approval, so I can't personally relate, but I understand it's probably a very different experience being in it, you know, so compassion. But bottom line, you can't do that. Like, you will end up so unfulfilled. Like, unless your parents are truly like earth angels and sent to like better you and like, you know, they fulfill that. Like, you gotta understand, you should not be going after their approval, because a lot of people, unfortunately, chances are, if you're watching this, you have parents who have parents who have children simply out of like it was the norm, it was the societal norm, that's what they thought they had to do. This wind is making me so upset, and I'm really praying that it doesn't affect the audio. Because, what the fuck? Girl, this is a really nice breeze, and I'm like so angry because I'm like, why during a recording? This is such a nice breeze, but bitch, why? Is that a fucking wolf in the fucking distance? I don't think it's a wolf, but there's a fucking, that might actually be a fox or a wolf, and he's looking at me. Okay. I'm in a cemetery, obviously. You probably already noticed I'm in a fucking cemetery. But there's like a creature in the distance. I'm pretty sure that's a wolf. I mean a fox. I don't think it's a wolf. If it is a wolf, I'd be shook. But I'm pretty sure that's a fox or a really big dog. I guess by the time I get this posted, it'll be December. So I want to also remind you of the spirit of generosity, the spirit of like giving, you know. I don't think it should only be limited to like holiday season, obviously, but like, you know, just a reminder, there's a lot of people who are suffering really badly at this time, and you could choose to be a fucked up person and just not give a fuck and like add to that, but like just, I don't know, because like we all go through it, and it's just really weird to me that people lack the empathy to be like, well, I could go through it, so like let me watch out for people who are going through it, you know what I mean? It's like, well, if it's not me, I don't give a fuck. I don't know about that mindset, but you know what I mean? Just, you know, because what goes around comes around. What you put out into the universe will come back to you at some point, I believe. So try to do good as much as you can, I guess. Remember, miracles happen all the time. Whatever you're going through is temporary. Keep your head up. Deuces.